Hey, what is going on, guys? It is fantastic to see you again. Today, I have another speaking lesson that you can do completely by yourself. I haven't made a lesson like this for a couple of months, and I don't really know why, because they're pretty easy to make and they are fantastic speaking practice for you guys, which is something that is really hard to get from a YouTube video. So for this lesson, the topic is traveling and vacations. I'm going to ask you some questions about going on trips. I want you to speak your answer and record it on your phone if you can, and then you'll compare the answer that you gave to the example answer that I will give. This is a great way to see real native English speaking and to help you improve your own vocabulary and ability to express yourself in English. Let's get started. First question, what is your favorite trip you have ever been on and why? Pause the video and speak your answer to this question. Here's my example answer. Compare your answer to this. My all-time favorite vacation was when my family and my two best friends all went to Colorado together in the summer of 2017. We all stayed in a huge cabin in the mountains. Every day we did really fun activities like whitewater rafting and hiking. The mountains and forests in Colorado are absolutely beautiful, and I had an awesome time exploring them with some of my favorite people. So a few things to notice about this answer. Notice that when I talk about the vacation, I use past tense verbs like we all stayed, every day we did, and I had an awesome time. So your vacation was in the past, so make sure you use the past tense when you are describing it. However, here I say, the mountains and forests in Colorado are absolutely beautiful. This is still true today, and I am saying in general, the mountains and forests in Colorado are beautiful. So it's okay to use the present tense here. So if you want to, and if your first answer wasn't that good, try again and think about these things. For your answer, you should describe where you went, who you were with, what you did, and why it was so fun. Make sure, like I said, to use the past verb tense when you're talking about the events of the trip. And because this is your favorite trip of all time, you should use stronger adjectives than just good. Maybe incredible, awesome, fantastic, amazing, things like that. Next question. Can you tell me about a specific fun experience you have had while on vacation? So the first question was about an entire trip. This is about a specific activity from a trip. Here's an example. I went to Mexico last year with my family. It was an awesome trip because it was the first time we had all been together in quite a while. On the third day of the trip, we went to a really beautiful beach and relaxed in the sun all afternoon. The weather was perfect and the beach wasn't very crowded. After the sunset, we went to a really fancy Italian restaurant and had a fantastic dinner. It was an amazing day. So just like before, if your first answer wasn't that great, why don't you try again and think about these things? So describe that specific day, the things you did and why it was fun. And just like before, you should use the past verb tense when you are talking about that day because it happened in the past. And since you're talking about a really enjoyable experience, try to think of better adjectives than good. So in my example, I use awesome, fantastic, amazing. Try to use adjectives like that. Okay, next question. This one is the opposite. Can you tell me about a negative experience you had while on a trip? Here's my example. This one's a little bit longer. Earlier, I said Colorado was my favorite vacation, but I've actually been there several times. One time when I was about 12, my family went there during the summer, and my dad and I went on an all-day biking trip. We rode from the very top of a mountain all the way back down into the town, about 45 kilometers away. Most of the trip was downhill, and I wasn't a very good bike rider. At one point, I lost control of my bike while going about 50 kilometers per hour. It was super scary because on one side of me were cars speeding by, and on the other side was a huge drop. I fell off my bike and slid across the road, but actually wasn't that hurt because I had my helmet on. So maybe after seeing that example, you realize you can make yours a little bit better, so try again if you want to. Describe that day and why it was bad, and make sure you use the past tense when you're talking about that day. Here is the final question. If you could go on a trip anywhere in the world, where would you go and why? Here's my example. If I could take a trip anywhere in the world, I would go to Senegal in Africa. Wrestling is the national sport of Senegal, and I would love to visit for a few weeks and train at a Senegalese wrestling stable. I think it would be awesome to learn more about that sport and the culture of Senegal. I would film a lot of the trip and use the footage to make a short documentary about Senegalese wrestling. So, the biggest difference between this answer and the other answers is that this is not about a real life situation. This has not happened, and so that's why you should use would with all your verbs. I would go to, I would love, I think it would be awesome. So hopefully in your answer you used would. If not, you can try again. So describe where you would do, that's a mistake, where you would go and what you would do there. And use would in front of your verbs while talking about the trip because it's not a real situation. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helps. I hope you were able to learn some things that you can use to make your speaking skills even better. If you like this style of lesson, let me know in the comments and I'll keep making more like this. Keep studying hard, guys. I hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Later.